Good afternoon, everyone. It's John Phones here from UCU in Bridgewater and Taunton College, and also across the whole of the Southwest region. You will be aware, I'm sure, that today is the last day, maybe tomorrow, but to be on the safe side, today is the last day for posting your ballots in the election for National Executive Committee and, of course, for Vice President. You will know that I'm rooting for Rhiannon Lockley for Vice President, and that, of course, I'm standing to be a member of NEC for the last time. And although I could come back after a year's break, unless I stand for a different seat. So I'm standing this time for UCU FE South, which actually covers the whole of the south of England, and I am standing against a colleague who is coming from the southeast. So I hope that I will actually be getting, and indeed I know I have got already a number of votes from colleagues across the southwest, people who've got in touch with me from different colleges right across the region. But I wanted to talk to you about something that is coming up in the next couple of years, really. And that's the issue of workload. Of course, there are lots of issues that we're dealing with at Congress and conference specifically, where we're talking about FE issues. And pay is a perennial. And I think that won't be solved, quite honestly, until the government gets its head around having a new legislative framework for FE colleges, effectively nationalising colleges. I think having the last 30-odd years of independence has led to an absolute fracturing of the sector. And that's why I think we have so many different pay scales across all of our different colleges. And in fact, that's why we have such difficulty maintaining, indeed achieving, any degree of parity with our school sector colleagues. However, to return to workload, I wanted to float this issue with my colleagues here in Bridgewater and Taunton College, but across the wider region as well. And that is the issue of the number of hours that colleagues actually have to be contracted to deliver in various ways. Now, there will be a number of colleges where the annual aggregate is 864 hours contact time, or in my own college, it's 828, unless you're a course leader, in which case it's 792. But there are real anomalies within that. So, for example, if you're a trainer assessor, you don't fit into that framework at all, because you are not confined in your work to the 36-week year where we deliver most full-time courses, for example. So, and nevertheless, a lot of our trainer assessors do deliver full-time courses. So their contracts don't really fit into that formula. And we have colleagues who teach level 3 courses where students, certainly in their second year, but in some cases in their first year, finish quite early in the summer term. And those colleagues are then not able to deliver anything to those students in the last 3-4 weeks of the college year. And in many cases, that means that their timetabling managers try to squeeze all of their 800 and whatever it is, 828 hours, 792 hours if you're a course leader. They try to squeeze them all into a smaller number of weeks, which means that some colleagues are teaching 25 hours a week, 26 hours a week, in some cases more than that for some weeks. And of course, it gets even worse for those colleagues who are on higher education contracts, who are delivering higher education, which is meant to be delivered at the same level and with the same authority that any courses are delivered in higher education institutions. Now, higher education institutions have plenty of their own problems at the moment, and colleagues there have my sympathy. But within the further education sector, of course, we have colleagues who are delivering perhaps over 30 weeks, 32 weeks, sometimes less than that, and are still notionally required to fulfill their annual aggregate total. Now, it's only in the last year that we've managed in my college to get a paragraph into the staff handbook which stipulates that staff should be on 23 hours a week, but it does say on average. And I think we should be able to go further than that. I don't think the starting point should be the aggregate, the 828 hours. I think the starting point should be 23 hours a week. And some might argue even that's too much. But 23 hours a week should be the starting point that we work from for all colleagues. Of course, there's remission for course leaders and so on as well. And then on top of that, we can associate that with the 828 hours, annualized hours, but it's unrealistic and unfair to expect colleagues who perhaps are unable to be delivering for all of the 36 weeks of the college year to have so many extra hours packed into their other weeks, when we know that they have a variety of other jobs that they have to do, including things like higher education, moderation and panels and all of the things that go with running a course for and on behalf of a higher education institution. And of course, there is the other aspect of higher education, which is that people are meant to be keeping on top of their game. There is still meant to be an element of research, keeping up your subject knowledge and so on. How that is possible working by and teaching 26 hours a week is beyond me, quite honestly. So I think we certainly have to address that. But the other issue that I think we need to consider, and this is very important, is the contrast between what we refer to as contact hours in most further education colleges and what in the school sector is usually referred to as directed time. And of course, if we were to move to that sort of principle, that means that we should be able to calculate the hours that are being delivered in an educational project, if you like, per week, based not only on contact in lessons or lectures, but also on any special tasks that people are required to do by their various managers, which might mean going out into a school to deliver marketing activities to school students. It might mean delivering more parental activity evenings or coffee time or whatever it's going to be called, which we are often required to do at what appears sometimes to be almost a moment's notice. So we have colleagues sitting around in the evening with coffee and cake and perhaps one or two parents turning up. But those colleagues are still nevertheless expected to be there, and they're expected to be delivering the next day their full timetabled load as normal. And there are lots of these extra events that are put on. In your admin time during the week, you will sometimes find that time is taken up by taster days. Now, all of these activities are relevant and useful and are necessary in terms of recruiting from the school sector. But the fact that they're not in any way taken into the calculation of people's total hours seems to me to be quite wrong. And I think that's one of the things that we need to be negotiating for across England and in every single further education college as we approach the next annual set of negotiations over next year's pay claim. And by next year, I actually mean this year, the 25-26 pay claim. Now, those things are not currently in our new deal for FE, but I think we shall be discussing those things. We have already discussed them within the National Further Education Committee, and I think we need to continue to discuss those things, and I hope there will be motions to that effect coming up in the annual Further Education Conference, which will be part of our annual Congress in May of this year. So I look forward, colleagues, to having conversations with you across the region, certainly within my own college, but across the wider region as well, and our extended southwest region, which takes in, Cornwall, Bath, Wiltshire, Dorset, uh, places far and wide, quite honestly, who all have different practices, different roles, and different timetable formulas as well. So I hope that we will be able to address those issues, and I look forward to many fruitful conversations with all of you colleagues. I hope that I will be able to continue to have those conversations in NEC for the next 2 years. But let me assure you that if I am not on NEC, if my colleague in the southeast actually gets the role, I will continue to be fighting for these things in my own college, of course, but nevertheless still across the southwest region. So thank you very much for listening to this, colleagues. I hope you have a good weekend when it comes to it. I'm looking forward to the results coming out next Monday, when coincidentally I'm also speaking as the main speaker at the Taunton Trades Council in the evening. So I shall be waiting for the results to come out while also delivering something to my comrades there in the Trades Council. So thanks very much, everyone. Look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Good luck. Bye-bye now.